They say his eyes changed to match the color of the sky. They say his clothes always blend into wherever he happens to be standing. They say if you stare at him long enough, you can see what's written on the wall behind him. Yeah, they say a lot of things about the Schwa, but I can tell you what's true and what's not because I was there. I noticed him, which is a big thing, since most of the time, not even his own father noticed him. My name's Antsy Bonano, but you can call me Antsy. Everyone does. You don't gotta believe me, but I was the one who realized he was functionally invisible and used it to make us big bucks. I was also the one who caused the Schwa more grief than a friend really should. Okay, so if you'll just shut up and listen, I'll tell you all there is to know about the Schwa, from how he got his name to what really happened to his mother. I'll tell you everything about him, unless, of course, the Schwa Effect wipes him out of my brain before I'm done. My preview today is The Schwa Was Here, and the author, Neal Shusterman, was the winner in 2024 of the Margaret A. Edwards Award for Lifetime Achievement in Writing for Young Adults. The Schwa Was Here. I don't really remember when I first met the Schwa. He was just kind of always there, like the killer potholes on Avenue U or the Afghans barking out the windows above Crawley's restaurant, a whole truckload of them, if you believed the rumors. Old Man Crawley, by the way, was a certifiable Looney Tune, a shut-in, like Brooklyn's own Howard Hughes, almost as legendary as the lobsters served up in his restaurant below. See, there was this staircase that went up from the restaurant to the residence on the second floor, but with each step it got darker around you. So when you tried to climb it, you kept thinking you heard the horror audience behind you yelling, "No, don't go up the stairs!" Because who but a moron would go up to search for Old Man Crawley, who had fingernails like Ginsu knives that could dice, slice, and julienne you, then serve you up in like 14,000 plastic dog bowls. Those bowls, by the way, would probably be made by my father, the vice president of product development for Pisher Plastic Products. If you're a guy, I'm sure you already know that their most famous product is that little plastic strainer at the bottom of urinals. And you probably still laugh every time you look down while taking a leak and see Pisher written in happy, bold letters, like maybe it was to remind you why you were standing there. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Schwa. See, that was the whole point with the Schwa. You couldn't even think about him without losing track of your own thoughts. Like even in your head, he was somehow becoming invisible. Okay, so like I said, I don't remember when I met him. Nobody does. But I can tell you the first time I remembered actually noticing him. It was the day Manny Bullpucky jumped from the Marine Park Bridge. It was a Saturday, and my friends and I were bored, as usual. I was hanging out with Howie Bogerton, whose one goal in life was not to have any goals in life, and Ira Goldfarb, who is a self-proclaimed cinematic genius. With a digital video camera his grandparents had gotten him for his bar mitzvah last year, Ira was determined to be Steven Spielberg by the time he got to high school. As for Manny Bullpucky, we kind of dragged him along with us to various places we went. We had to drag him around. on account of he was a dummy. Not a dummy like Wendell Tigger, who had to repeat the 5th grade like 14,000 times, but a real dummy. More snooty people might call him a mannequin or even a prosthetic personage, because nobody calls things what they really are anymore. But to us normal people in Garrettson Beach, Brooklyn, he was a dummy, plain and simple. As for his name, it came in the natural course of human events. Dad had brought him home from work one day. "Look at this guy," he says proudly, holding him up by the scruff of his neck. "He's made of a new ultra-high grade, lightweight plastic, completely unbreakable." My older brother Frank looks up from his dinner. "Bullpucky," he says, although I'm editing out the bad word here on account of my mother might read this and I don't like the taste of soap. As soon as Frankie says it, Mom, without missing a beat, hauls off and whacks him on the head in her own special way, starting low and swinging up like a tennis player giving a ball topspin, just grazing the thin spot on his head that's going to be bald someday, probably from Mom slapping him there. "You watch your mouth," Mom says. Mout, not mouth. We got a problem here with the th sound. It's not just us. It's all of Brooklyn. Maybe Queens, too. My English teacher says I also drop vowels like a bad juggler and have an infuriating tense problem, whatever that meant. So anyway, if you put the th problem and the vowel thing together, our family's Catholic instead of Catholic, and my name's Anthony instead of Anthony. Somehow that got changed into Antsy when I was little, and they've called me Antsy ever since. It don't bother me no more. Used to, but you grow into your name. And this has been a preview of The Schwa Was Here.